There's my performative sip of coffee for the guy in the comments who didn't like my performative sip, because we're sipping coffee and talking about guitar stuff. That's what we do. That is the thumbnail. That is the thing. So grab your cup of coffee. We're going to talk about what if one of the three big guitar companies failed, because there's always some ding dong in the comments who's saying that, right? Like, especially lately about this Fender stuff, that Fender should fail. Now let's parse this out real quick. I'm not talking about failing at all this legal crap. Let's put that aside, because that's what they think they're dooming themselves with all this. I don't think so. I think they're going to be fine. No, we don't want them to win this. We want them to lose this, right? We don't want them to win this, but we also don't want them to be gone. We do not want them to fail as a company. We would never want them to fail as a company. We would never want Gibson to fail as a company. We would never want PRS to fail as a company. Ibanez, ESP, the big companies, we do not want them to fail, but especially Fender and Gibson. And we're gonna talk about why. Number one, they're the companies that bring people to the guitar. If we don't want this hobby to die, Fender and Gibson can't die. Okay. People know what the Stratocaster is. They know what the Les Paul is. They know what the Explorer is. They know what the V is. They know what those shapes are. Even if they don't know what even the brand names are, they recognize them. That's a rock guitar. In fact, people will even say, that must be a jazz guitar. They identify, right? And so then when you start to get into the hobby a little bit, people immediately know. It's almost immediately know Fender, Gibson, Epiphone, Squier, Yamaha, Ibanez, right? They know those things. When a kid walks into a store, they see a Strat, they see a Tele, they see a Marshall amp. Those are the gateway products. Hey, dude. Zeba, come. Hey, buddy. Zeba, it's too early. There's people sleeping still. I know. Those people are allowed to walk by. It's okay. Oh, I'm sorry. And you bonk your head on the desk. Hey, it's okay, bud. I know. Okay. So, if we don't have those brands, we don't have anything else. Because they'll buy one of those and then they'll start buying everything else, from custom guitars to other brands that nobody's ever heard of, to hand-wired amps, to boutique pickups, to all the other accessories, all that stuff. But it starts with Fender and Gibson, Epiphone, Squier, Yamaha, Ibanez, ESP, LTD, right? And as a result of this, because they have the biggest market share, they fund the entire ecosystem, okay? So what I mean by that is there's millions and millions of people employed and running this entire ecosystem of dealers, distributors, content creators. And I know people don't like the content creator side of it, but we are. I don't even want to put myself in that because I don't do it that much. But okay, I guess just for the benefit of the doubt, we are part of the marketing arm for these companies when we do this stuff. All the trade shows, all the repair shops, all the accessory manufacturers. There's just it's a huge, huge thing. Anywhere from a T-shirt with guitar stuff on it or a bumper sticker, all the way up to a custom shop Fender or a custom shop Gibson, and everywhere in between. It's just an entire ecosystem, and actually that actually reaches beyond just guitar players, right? You go into a Lucky Brand jeans store and there's Fender branded stuff in there. There's Marshall branded stuff in there. There's, right? Because they're trying to draw people to this. So it just stretches way out. If Fender sells fewer guitars, if Gibson sells fewer guitars, fewer stores exist. Fewer people have jobs, fewer techs exist, less money flows through this entire ecosystem. And it's bad for everybody. You know, you may not like this. Uh, it's like a big. I got this big apple tree in my front yard, and it's like it's got this whole thing. There's a mockingbird that lives in it. There's a there's a bunch of animals that live. It's pretty neat, and then everything lives in this. If I cut that tree down, the tree's gone, but it affects a whole bunch of other stuff too. A lot of a lot of things live in that. That's kind of the thing. Like we are all of us who are watching this video, and all of us who know people who never even watch YouTube, we are all affected by it. The other thing is that the used market is driven by new sales. One of the biggest things I've seen lately is if Fender goes out of business, it's okay, there's plenty of Strats in the world. That's just not true. There's no used market without new stuff. Because every new guitar was a used, or every used guitar was a new guitar at some point. Every vintage guitar was a new guitar. It was just a normal guitar. People will often say that, but if you lose a manufacturer, you will. Those two things can't be true forever, right? The used market, and yeah, okay, there's a lot of Fenders, but there's a lot of people, and you'll run out of guitars. It's happened with a lot of stuff. See it in the watch industry, in the watch hobby a lot. Seiko just discontinued a bunch of really cool models, that have been kind of around for a long time. The Willard, the Arnie, there's a few, and I'm trying to find them, and they've only been discontinued for 6 or 7 months, and already a $400 watch is like $1,500 on the used market, and you can't find them. I mean, it's crazy. So prices will go up. Innovation slows when this kind of thing happens, because competition also makes things better. So if you don't have Fender and Gibson competing, then one company automatically has a monopoly or has more control over the market just because, right? There's no longer, we need to compete for the $500 guitar market. Well, now there's, or et cetera. Like, so that's the thing. You have less choices. The reason innovation happens is because there is a fiscal need to do so. At least on the large company side. On the small company side, like me, I love doing things. I love learning things. I love wanting to do stuff different. I love coming out with a new pickup design. We just dropped another pickup design yesterday. Really, really cool. That's super fun. But the only reason I do it is because I love it. When a big company innovates, it's because they're competing with somebody else. They run out of runway on a particular product, and they gotta come up with something new to stay interesting. And if you have one of those big companies gone, a big piece of that goes away. It'll just get way more boring. The other thing is the community. This is our language. This is our, people say it's just a lifestyle brand, but if you're in this hobby and you have guitars all over your house, it is your lifestyle. You base your, I'm pretty sure that most of you, when you have some expendable income, or you save up for something or whatever, and you want some guitar thing, that's kind of the thing you're into. I'm a weirdo and I like a bunch of different stuff, but and I'm sure we all do. I'm sure we're into more than one thing, but you understand what I'm saying. There's a community around it. There is a whole culture around it. We need these brands to feed this culture. This is a language that it brings people together. And I know that the comment section oftentimes is very, you know, not positive, but let's face it, that part of it is a very small percentage of the entire community. And you spend most of your time when you're talking about guitar stuff, talking to your friends who like guitar stuff too, and you've created a community around it. We've all created a community around it, and it's really, really important. These brands help create this culture, and we need them to do that. We all have these common experiences based around it. Sometimes they're negative, but most of the time they're not. Most of the time they are positive. I have faith in people. Like I have faith in even the guy who's an ass in the comments sometimes. You know, I'm sure he's probably like that in real life too, to some people, but I bet he's not all the time. You know what I mean? Like I think most people are totally cool. I bet they totally are totally cool. There's a couple guys yesterday that you could tell weren't, and they were like that all the time, but yeah, that's fine. We know who you are. We see you. We won't invite you over to our house. And the other thing is, the aftermarket needs the big companies. Otherwise, what would we have? What would we have? I need Fender. I need them to keep making guitars so that I can exist. I'm part of that ecosystem. I need Fender to keep making guitars so that we can keep making and selling pickups. That's what we do. The existence of Fender, the existence of Gibson, the existence of PRS, less so because they're a little different, but still, we need them to drive the culture that feeds my family. I mean, that's, I really need that. Every time they sell a new guitar, they create upgrades. And of course, a lot of people will say, well, what about the cheap guitar brands? The less expensive stuff and all that copy stuff from China and all that. Isn't that more where you want your market to come from? And I don't honestly care. I don't want to say I don't care who buys my stuff, because I do. Because I do care, like who buys it, because most people who buy our stuff want a particular thing. They want to be educated about the stuff. They're a thoughtful consumer, I guess. I want thoughtful consumers to buy my stuff. If you are just price shopping, if you're just looking for the cheapest thing, chances are you're not going to buy my stuff anyways, which is fine. That's totally cool. We all have you. There's pickups out there for you too, right? That's how it all works. But we need thoughtful consumers. And so if you put these big brands out of business, then all this comparison goes away. All of this, the need to make choices goes away, and the thoughtful consumer goes away, because now you're just left with the commodity, right? So do we just let everybody get away with everything? No. I think we confuse accountability with failure. Just because Fender or Gibson or somebody does something we don't like, we don't want them to go away. We do want them to be held accountable for bad products, bad quality control, bad service, bad decisions, like all this legal stuff. But there's a huge difference between stop what you're doing, change your course, and get better, and I want this company to cease to exist. That just makes no sense to me. We're all too connected for this. We're all friends over this. We've made friends and longtime acquaintances and really good friends and good customers and whole communities all around this. And so I think it's really important that all these big companies live. I think they do. They should. No matter their size, no matter how many billions, no matter who owns them, no matter if they're privately owned, private equity, publicly traded, doesn't matter. They all should exist, and we all should just keep buying guitars.